Welcome.
Hello. Are we live?
Are we going?
I bet we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Cool. I'm back.
You're back. Alicia's back.
I came once. I don't know. I probably haven't met everybody yet.
Yeah.
This is the first time, I guess, I'm being officially introduced.
Yes. Well, I am so glad to be introducing you to Alicia today. She is one of our new craft producers here and has lots of amazing talents to share with you. So it is so good to have Alicia on the set today.
Thank you.
And she's going to make a craft with you today.
Yes, it's going to be very, very fun. It's super, super cute and super easy. It looks like it would be hard, but it's like super easy. So I'm excited.
One of the things that I like about this project is how low cost it is.
Yes.
You can make it for, oh gosh, under $5.
I would say under $5, and you can
$5.
like use scraps. Like if you've got the materials laying around, you could literally just like whip this together as a gift, or it's really cute. You guys are gonna really like it. Amazing.
So who do we have here with us today? I see Carla and Jill and Shelly and Mary. Welcome. I'm so glad that you are joining us today. Be letting us know if this is your first live. And actually, I'm going to change my question. If you've ever made a paper flower before, that's what I want to know.
Yes.
If you have or have not made a paper flower.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm trying to see who else. So you all know everybody. I have to learn everyone still.
I mean,
I don't know
everybody, but yeah, the names are familiar. Like
Yes.
Jill Pastel, I see her here all the time in live, so we're glad to have you here today.
Yes. Okay, should I pop on over to the
Yeah, show
craft
them
table?
what you're making.
Okay.
I think they're going to be so excited.
All right, let's go. Let's do this.
And I'll be here moderating comments.
Okay. Can everybody see me? Yeah? Okay, this is it, the grand reveal. This is our little flower wreath we're gonna be making today. So super, super easy and like a quick little project you can whip up if you wanted to make yourself a spring wreath, or if you wanted to add these flowers to another project, you can make the flowers and add them to whatever you want. You don't have to put them on a wreath, but I think this is really cute. So,
I think it would be great for a birthday party. And then you make them out of the paper from like your color scheme for the party.
I totally agree. So you don't need a whole lot of supplies for this. Like we were saying earlier, you could use scraps like around your house and stuff. But basically we're gonna be using cardstock. So I've already pre-cut a lot of my flowers, but these are the colors that we use. I'm gonna scooch everything in so you can kind of see what's going on over here. So I've already pre-cut my leaves and flowers. I'm really just wanting to show you guys how to assemble them. So we've already got like all of our little leaves cut. Okay, I'm over. Okay. I've already got all the leaves cut, all the flowers cut, and I'm going to show you guys how to assemble these. It's super easy. You only need a couple other tools that you may or may not already have laying around. This is a quilling tool. Is that what we were calling it? A quilling tool. And then I keep calling this the wrong thing.
It's okay. That is a bone folder.
Yes, a bone folder.
And would you say the quilling tool is like necessity, you have to have it? Or could you use like tweezers?
You could use anything that's gonna like...
A bobby pin maybe?
A bobby pin would be a great like fun hack to do flowers.
In his TikTok video put a bobby pin inside a drill.
I saw that, yes.
And then he like turned the paper flower.
Yes, it was, yeah, there's lots of fun little like hacks you can do to like basically substitute your tools. But this one, it makes it easy because you just slide it right in and then you just spin it. And that's why you can use a bobby pin, because you just slide it right in the bobby pin and then you can spin it up. And then you're gonna need a weeding tool just in case. These type of flowers, you kind of have to weed out the middles. The other ones, they'll just peel right off, but this is a little bit more dainty, so that's what we're gonna use the weeding tool for. And then obviously I have my LightGrip mats because we're gonna be cutting cardstock, and then our little tiny foams, that's gonna be for our stacked flowers. So we're gonna be cutting these, and that's gonna give it the three-dimensional effect. You guys might be able to see it like here. So, and then you're gonna need a hoop. So they have these in like gold. I like the silver because it's like a fresh, I love gold though. I'm usually a gold gal, but I really, really like the silver. And then you're gonna need scissors. Potentially you'll need scissors. And then a hot glue gun.
Yes,
So
we love that Lynn Lily hot glue
yes,
gun.
this is a cordless hot glue gun. I'm sure if you guys have been here for a while, like, you know what's up. These are the bomb.com.
We sell them out a lot.
Yes.
They might be out of stock.
And they're so pretty. It's like a little mermaid hot glue gun. I'm obsessed.
So many people here that have never made a paper flower before.
Oh, good.
So they are in store for a good live. They're in the right place. And some people have said they've made flowers, paper flowers when they were like a kid at school. And some said, I only know how to make one kind, but I want to learn how to make different kinds.
Oh
so
my
all
gosh.
of you are in the right place because Alicia is going to hook you up.
Yes, I'm going to show you guys how to do all the kinds, all the different ones. And like the first time that I did this project, I was like hooked. I all the time want to make paper flowers now. So
yeah.
I'm going to hop on over to Design Space and show you guys how we actually cut them and what they look like before we cut them and all that good stuff.
Yes.
Let's see. Okay, are we over in Design Space? Okay, so the files that we use for our flowers as well as the trees are all linked below. These, I want to say we used, there's quite a few that you can choose from, but the ones that we used in this video are 1, 3, 8, and 11.
And they're all linked below. And all of those are linked below.
Yes, they're all linked below. And then we use the stacked flower. And then I actually stole my leaves from these files. So I'm gonna go ahead and start by showing you guys how I cut my leaves first. So this little guy, I needed some like viney leaves. That's gonna be like our backer basically. I like to start with the greenery and then build up with my flowers. So I just got this guy because it looks like he's got some little vines coming out. And basically you just upload this image into your Design Space and then you're gonna ungroup it. And you can select any of these right here. Honestly, any of them would work. I think we went with this one, I wanna say. And then you can just delete all of this extra stuff. So I'm gonna get rid of that. And then I've already got this guy over here, but I just wanted to show you guys kind of how you can do it. And then you're gonna size them up to however big you need. So I did 2 at 7 inches and 2 at like 5 inches. That way it gives it kind of some dimension whenever you're gluing them up. And I also did 2 different shades of green. So all of the greenery is kind of like, I think I ended up using like 3 different shades of green, like for the bigger leaves. And then that way it gives it some dimension when it's hanging.
It looks really good like that because since they're layered on top of each other, those different colors like make you able to see each individual one.
Yes.
Rather than them all just kind of blending together.
Yeah, if you use one, it starts to get a little bit busy if you use like the same shade of green. So just a little fun design tip. And then the same thing for these, I just ungroup this and then these leaves are pretty much all the same. So you can ungroup it.
You're gonna have to contour that.
Oh yeah, we did contour that, didn't we? Okay. So
because they're all together.
Yes. So basically you're going to select the image and then
you'll have to make sure that that trunk isn't in there. So you can go ahead and delete the trunk, ungroup it and delete the trunk.
Oh yeah. Okay.
With just that black layer selected is where you'll do your contouring.
Yes. So we ungrouped it, we deleted the chunk, and then we're going to go down to the bottom right and we're going to select contour. And we don't need 50. We need like 4 or 5.
Yeah, so you can hide all contour.
Yes, hide them all, and then you're gonna select.
You'll be left with one.
Yeah, and then X out.
Woohoo.
And there it is. And then you can make it bigger. So for the specific wreath that I made, you can do as many leaves as you want. You don't have to do what I do exactly, but basically I cut 2 really big leaves and then I cut 4 slightly smaller leaves. So we're trying to make dimension here with sizes and colors and different shades of green. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. So there's that. There's our leaves. What's everybody saying on the comments?
Well, somebody said that they just downloaded every one of these files last week and didn't know what to do with them. So she...
Oh, perfect timing.
Yeah, it's like you read Carrie's mind.
That's hilarious.
And somebody's asking for a sunflower file. I'm not logged in, so I can't comment back. But we do have 2 sunflower files, and I know I get to tell you when I'm alive, like all of what's coming up. We have a really cute print and cut sunflower file coming out in the next couple months.
Okay.
And this project has really showed me that we need more leaf files on Maker's Gonna Learn.
Yes.
So this is a great hack for the time being, but we will definitely be coming out in the coming, probably next 2 or so months, with a bunch of leaves that you can use with projects like this or any kind of project.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice, even though that there weren't like specific leaf files in there, it was cool to be able to know like that you can take a original file and then kind of break it apart and use the pieces that you need. Because you can use that in any design that you do. You don't necessarily have to do it just with flowers. Like you can break apart any design and kind of use the elements that you want to keep.
Like somebody who doesn't really like yoga might never use that yoga tree file, but they actually can because there's so many ways to manipulate and use files. So something we really like to teach on Maker's Gonna Learn.
Yes. Okay. So I've got all of the flowers already pulled into here. Basically, the main thing that you're going to want to do before you cut these is you want to make sure that your main flowers are a little bit bigger. I like to say you have like a main flower, like a showstopper, and then you have like an accent flower, and then you have some like filler flowers.
Definitely. That's what they actually told me when I was building my wedding bouquet too.
Oh yeah.
And I would show them all these flowers like, well, what do you want? Do you want it to be like your main one flower?
Yeah.
I think I picked a corn. No, not a corn.
I had magnolias. That was mine.
Those are big
I must like big white flowers because my wreath has a big white flower too.
I don't remember the name of mine, but it was gigantic, like this, almost the size of my head.
Yeah, so gotta have a showstopper, and then we did the pink one on the screen. That is like our accent, and then we did the smaller blue and purple flowers and the navy flowers as like filler around the edges. You can do whatever colors you want. I actually encourage you guys to like pick the colors that you want that are going to match your vibe and match your house or wherever you're going to be putting it. This is just like a color scheme I really, really liked. I feel like it's summery, even though it's February 1st. I'm just trying to channel some warm. Yeah, we had literally had snow last week, so.
I heard we might be getting snow tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
I'm going to cry. I'm over it.
We had one question that I can go ahead and answer for Bunny. She said, why do you have to contour and you can't just ungroup on that file? It depends on the composition of the file and how it was made. To go into some detail, this is a word you actually use in Silhouette. It has a compound path. The name of it is the felt tree, this individual leaf tree. And so they're all like grouped together in the software where we make the files. And so they're not individual pieces. It's kind of like one piece. And then you have to go to contour to hide everything that you don't want. Where the yoga file was built with individual pieces, not as one. So that's why you could get rid of those layers that way.
Oh, see, I didn't know that was why I did that, but now I know. So I'm learning something new.
And your layers panel is where you can go to figure all of that out. Because in the layers panel of that yoga tree file, you would have a bunch of different segments of each part, where if you could show them, Alicia, maybe, with that big tree, if it's there, it doesn't matter. With the big tree, it was just one glob of leaves.
So, let's see. Yeah. Let me pull it back up. I have it right here. So you guys can have a visual at least. Yeah. It's in here somewhere.
But yeah, you learn a lot about your project and your files in the layers panel.
Yeah, you can see right here. Yeah. And I think those are things that you learn, like the more that you sit in design space and learn to do your own designs, which I super encourage you to do. I feel like it really gives you your projects like a different...
to play with the files and not just cut them out.
Yeah, it gives you, it makes it your own, you know what I mean? Because you can use, we have amazing, beautiful files, so you could just use that and it's going to be gorgeous, but I think it's fun to get in there and manipulate the files and make it your own. So there's that. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. Should we go ahead and make our flowers?
Yeah, let's do it. And while you're making them, could you give them a little bit of advice on how to decide what size? So
Yes.
show them the size. 'Cause
Yes.
Raven is asking. She says she has problems sizing her flowers.
Okay.
So we'll give you a little bit of a reference here.
Yes. Okay. So I'm just gonna start with my biggest flower, and then actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna start with my small flowers. These are like your accent flowers. So these are like the ones that kind of fill in around the edges. This is our little blue guy. And then basically I made the purple and the blue ones. I think we did, I want to say it was like 5 inches. I wrote down, let's see.
You can check in Design Space. Yeah.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
they might have been 6 inches.
Yeah, so in Design Space,
Sorry.
I selected the blue flower, and then I did that one 6 inches and this one as well. You can do them like slightly off, but that's probably the smallest I would go for a wreath. You can do smaller ones for like if you're making a card or if you're doing, you know, something like that. But I did the 6 inch just for this specific project. That's about the smallest I would go. So the flower doesn't actually turn out to be 6 inches, but the cutout is 6 inches, and then we're gonna quill it up really tight, and then we're gonna loosen it out, and you can kind of adjust it how you want once it's big or once it's rolled up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our little quilling tool. Are y'all, can they see me? Okay, so I don't know how, okay, I don't know how well you guys can see this, but there is a little slit in the top of this. And what you're gonna do is take this end, so this is like the outer end of your flower, and I'm just gonna take that and tuck it right in there and just get kind of as close to the end as you can. And then you're going to literally, we're just gonna wrap this around. So we're just, can you guys see that really well? Yeah, here, let me do this so you guys can like see better.
And if you hold it up more, they might be able to see it better that way too.
Yeah, can you all see how it's spinning? Is that good? I just want you guys to be able to tell that I'm just wrapping it around. And now, if you accidentally undo that, just pull it back out and reattach to the end, because that is easy to do sometimes. And a lot of people will go ahead and glue, like you'll wrap it a couple times and then you can add a little glue right here and then keep spinning it. I don't like to do that because I want my flowers to be as big as I want them to be. And if you glue it down, you're not able to adjust the sizing as well. So I'm just gonna keep spinning this around until it's all the way wound tight. What's everybody saying in the comments?
While you are doing that, let's talk about these files. Somebody is asking if they're from Makers Gonna Learn or Cricut Design Space, and they are definitely from Makers Gonna Learn.
Yes.
And not only do we have these paper flower cut files, but so many more. And also, I was thinking about this.
Okay.
We said it's an under $5 project. That includes all the cut files that you would need for this project if you joined with the $1 deal.
Yes.
So if you're Makers Gonna Learn member, you have access to all of these cut files, unlimited downloads. But if you're not yet a member, we have a super awesome promotion that we are relaunching today, where you can try out our membership for just $1.
Yes, and you get 20 cut files for 30 days
30 days of access, and you can download 20 cut files of your choice. So if you want to make this, you could download all of the cut files that you need to make that within those 20, and then you'll still have some others. That's like, what did we say, 5 cents a download?
Which is crazy.
Yeah, and those can be fonts too, which I think is a huge selling point, because fonts can be really expensive.
Yeah.
So 20 fonts for $1.
It's insane. It really is. It really is. And there's so many cut files. There's so many, like endless projects. You could craft like to your heart's desire. You're never gonna not be crafting. Yeah. So basically, we spun up our entire thing. We used our little quill tool, and I just popped it off. So I've got like a little flap. Are we overhead anymore? Can we go overhead? Okay, so I've just pulled it right off, and I'll show you again with the purple flower. I popped it off. I've got this little like bottom piece right here, and you can see it like on this flower. You can see this little circle, and that's where we're gonna put our glue. So when I first did these, I was a little nervous to like let go of my flower because I didn't want it to completely uncoil, but I'm gonna kind of let it like work out a little bit and let it unspin, if that makes sense. So it's really tight right now. So let me show you. This is like the final flower. And this is what we have right now. So I'm just gonna kind of open it up a little bit and you just play around with it. It's kind of weird to get used to, like knowing how big to open them up and like knowing, I guess, how to glue it and all that. But I'm gonna make mine like this big. And then I'm going to add a little dot of glue right here. And then I'm just gonna lay it right back down. And that's gonna glue all of this to that bottom piece. So I'm gonna take my fancy hot glue gun.
I have to say I'm surprised how well that stayed. I thought when you let go, the whole thing would unravel and you'd have to do it again.
I know. Well, when I first made them, I was like, no. I was like, I can't let go. You know, like I felt like I had to hold it and hold it and hold it. But yeah. I guess where you wrap it so tightly around that quilling tool, it's very like tightly wound. And you can adjust it as much as you need to. So I just added the glue there, and it may be like a little loosey-goosey right here, but it's gonna stay because you glued that bottom part in. So it's kind of bouncy, which I like. I feel like that makes it a little bit more whimsical, and these flowers are very whimsical. That's like totally the vibe that we have here.
If you don't want that though, you could use that glue as you go method that you were talking about,
yeah.
And they would be more
If you want them to be tighter, yeah, you could totally just, you know, glue it as you go. So I'm gonna go ahead and do our purple one the same way. I'm gonna start at this outer edge and I'm gonna slide it right into our quilling tool. There's a little slit there. Oops. Let's see. And then you're just gonna do the same thing. You're just gonna wrap it around. Can you guys see that? Yeah, okay. And you're just, and sometimes it'll try to like pop up. So I like to keep my finger here, like keep a finger here and just keep spinning, spinning. And then depending on how big it gets, like this is a relatively small flower. So the bigger it gets, the harder they are to handle. So just go as slow as you need to go. But this one's pretty small and it's already like this gets a little out of hand sometimes. So just take your time. If it comes apart, just redo it. It's totally, totally fine.
Everyone's talking about what kind of tools they're going to use when they make their version of this.
Oh.
And we have some creative people here. Chopsticks.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought about that.
Reverse tweezers. I mentioned tweezers, but the reverse ones would be much better for this because they stay closed.
Oh, that's brilliant, actually. Yes. I can't believe that.
And somebody said they're going to try the drill hack that Tanner did.
Yes.
And somebody else said they're going to put a bobby pin in their Dremel, which I think is like, I would imagine their Dremel's kind of small. So I think that would be cute to make little flowers instead of grabbing like a gigantic drill.
Did these people just, like, did you guys just think of that? Because I'm like really impressed right now. You guys just came up with that? I would have not ever thought of anything that cool. Okay, so I just pulled our little purple flower off and he has a little tail here. I'm gonna let it come out. So I'm not even like holding it. It just kind of came out on its own. And I'm gonna make it just a little bit bigger, just a little. Like I said, you can manipulate these as much as you want. And then we're gonna go ahead and add the glue right here, just like we did on the last one. And then I kind of try to fill in that little circle. Just be careful not to burn your fingers. I'm sure if y'all craft a lot, you know, like hot glue gun will come for you sometimes. Okay, and then you're just gonna attach that right there. And there is our little purple flower. I've got one sitting over here. So
I wish,
super cute.
I was just saying how much I love the lily, and I do love it. But I wish that it had a low temp, because then you could actually touch it.
Oh,
Our
yeah.
friend Leah Griffith, who makes all of those amazing paper flowers, she recommends a low temp hot glue gun.
Oh.
And you can like get your fingers in it and it won't burn you.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever used a low temp hot glue gun.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm interested because that is cool.
Somebody's asking what a Dremel is. Could you explain it to me?
Yes, it's kind of like, I want to say it's like a drill, but it's like, it's a power tool. And you can use it for many different things. There's like tips on it. You can use it to carve wood. You can use it to quill flowers, apparently.
When I think of a Dremel, I don't know why. I think of the nail salon, like the tool that they use to file your nails.
They do. They literally use Dremels at the nail salon. So like whenever they file the tips of your nails, they're using a Dremel. Yeah, so lots of different uses there. I'm gonna move on to this bigger, this is like our medium flower. This is probably for me, besides the big white flower, this is probably the hardest flower, I would say, just because there's so many little like phalanges, or I don't know, what would you call those?
Petals?
Yeah, phalanges are like fingers, right? They're like little fingers. So anyways, you're gonna do it the same exact way. But we're just gonna go ahead and attach this. And we're gonna do it the same way. We're just gonna go ahead and put it right through that slit. And I guess you just wanna be a little bit more delicate, like you wanna be more careful as you're spinning it, if that makes sense, because you don't wanna like rip the flower, but you still wanna have a good hold on it. So just hold it lightly. Can y'all see this really good? Okay, just making sure. And you're just gonna keep spinning same way. It feels weird and kind of wrong, like you feel like you're not doing it right, but just keep going. And whenever it opens up at the end, you'll be able to see. If I had a Dremel, I could just make a whole garden. Like I can make so many flowers. And then like we did on the other ones, we're gonna pop this off and leave that little tail right there. And then you can kind of let this flow out. This one's gonna try to pop up on you if you use this flower file. And I can't remember which number this is. I wanna say...
I could check.
Okay, but if you use this one, just remember, like it may try to pop up on you. And I actually think I unwound this pretty good amount, just because I wanna be able to see all of those petals. And if you wind it too tight, you're not able to see them as well. So.
That is flower 11.
11,
and
okay.
Aaliyah said that what did she say? I forgot.
Here we go. Can they see that? Yes.
Where did Aaliyah's comment go? I think she said that file gives her trouble or something.
Oh,
like
does
that.
it? Yeah. It like when you're cutting, is that what it is? I had issues with this file just weeding, but I think it was because it's so little, it's so dainty. And honestly, if you use this file, it might be better to, whenever you do go to cut, to select like more pressure just to make sure that it really gets in all those little crevices and cuts it. That way when you go to weed it, it doesn't just rip in half. And if you do any other delicate little flower designs like this, just make sure you add a little bit more pressure when you're cutting. That way it cuts it all the way out. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue this one, just the same as we've been doing the other ones. I'm gonna put a little glue on the tail, and then I'm gonna attach it. Let's see. Has anybody come up with any cute crafts with the flowers beside a wreath? Everyone's sounding like super creative, so I'm just curious if anybody's come up. Oh, pattern paper. Michelle says she would use pattern paper. Oh, only thing that would matter is if you use pattern paper.
Which way you roll it.
Yes, yeah.
If I did pattern paper, I probably would only do two-sided, not like the white back pattern paper. I don't think that would look very good.
Yeah, I'm curious at how that would look though. Like if you did it with the white background. But yeah. Okay, this is the big mama. This white flower. This is the big one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Somebody else has an awesome idea. I use the cap of the vinyl to make the size of the flower. If you need the same size flower, to put it like inside, like a roll, a tube of vinyl. Some of the vinyl tubes have little caps on them.
Yes.
Or you could use like a cookie cutter or something if you wanted them all to be the same.
Yes, that's genius. We just need to start making a list of all the good ideas. Did you guys come up with?
Maybe you should come to our content planning meeting.
You guys missed the meeting. What the heck?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is a little bit different, mainly because it's gigantic, and you're gonna do it the same. It's just bigger, and there's a lot more to deal with. So I'm gonna go ahead and slide this in. Maybe. There we go. Okay, and so it only goes in like about that far. So just make sure that you've got a good grip on it to start it. And I'm just gonna pull this in. It's kind of harder to get it going, but once you're going, you're fine. So just make sure that you're holding it on there keeping that finger up here and then one down here. That way, can you guys see it? Okay, I don't want to pull it in too close to me. Let's see. Yeah, and it's not going to matter which direction you're going, and like Michelle was saying, unless you use a pattern paper. And also, it's going to matter if you're left or right hand dominant, because it's going to be easier for you to spin. I'm left-handed and I'm spinning the wrong direction, and so that's why I'm going so slow. It's just taking me longer. Let's see. I wish I had this when I got married years ago. I made gigantic flowers by hand. I'm curious how you did the big flowers. I want to make the ones, have you guys seen the ones that go in like nurseries and stuff, and they're like gigantic?
Yeah, each petal is like a whole piece of paper.
Yes, like each petal is cut out of one piece of cardstock. I want to make those. Maybe we should do that. That should be a craft that we do. That would be fun.
Carol, I totally agree. She said it's the perfect craft to get us through these winter days.
Yes, it is.
We need to think about warmer weather.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't like wearing a coat.
Yeah, Valerie said yay for another left-handed crafter.
Oh, she noticed. I love that.
Are any of y'all left-handed? Are you left-handed?
Nope.
Tanner, are y'all?
Tanner's not left-handed. No.
Oh.
You're
well,
only lefty.
surely somebody else is left-handed here. Surely.
I don't think so. Oh, Lauren said she can.
Oh.
Or was it Lauren or Angela?
I can do. So I'm left-handed and right-armed.
Yes. I think our director of marketing is left-handed.
Okay. I'm gonna ask her. I'll have to ask her. But that's how I'm left-handed and right-armed. I can't use my right hand and I can't use my left arm, if that makes sense.
What would you do with your arm? Give me
like
an
throw
example.
a ball.
Oh, okay.
Like I can't throw a ball with my left arm, but I left-handed. I don't know. My brain is messed up. I don't know what happened. So this is our big flower. You guys see that? So the tail of this one is like much bigger. The petals are going to kind of like lay out around it. So I'm going to put the glue right here, kind of in a central, or on the edge rather than in a central point. So it's like over here on the edge, and I'm gonna stick it down just like that. And we want those petals to stick out. That makes the flower look like it's blossoming out. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the glue there. And then after we do these, I'm gonna show you guys how to do the stacked flowers, which are probably my favorite ones.
That's interesting. Valerie's saying that she's a left-handed crafter and it takes her a little bit longer when the tutorial is right-handed, that she has to I feel like you would have to translate it into left-handed.
You have to adjust. Yeah.
I never thought about it being a right-handed.
I guess I hadn't thought about it either. I'm really bad at following tutorials, so I just maybe that.
Yeah, you're saying, but you said you do workout tutorials. I cannot. We've had to do them in high school gym class, and they're always do this. I'm like, wait, so I put my
and they're just moving. Dance workouts.
Yeah, they're just moving different ways, and I'm like, wait, it's gonna take me 20 minutes to get into that position, and then you're moving to another one. I'm like, where does the hand go? Where does the foot go? Where does the leg go?
That's hilarious. Okay. Well, I was a cheerleader, so I was a cheerleader for 16 years.
Wow.
So that's why. That must be why I
a lot of things.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how to do the stacked flowers, and that is this one right here. So there's many different layers on this. I hope you guys can tell. Can you see it?
Can you explain kind of what they did, or how you sized them down in Design Space, how it was one file and you duplicated it?
Yes.
And all of that?
So let's go, let me just show you in Design Space how I did it. Oops. So whenever you pull this file, it's called the stacked flower, or just stacked flower on Maker's Gonna Learn. But basically I pull that in, and I did, the biggest one is 3.9 or 4, you can round it up. Actually, I would recommend that you round it up, because what you're gonna do is you'll start at 4, and then you're gonna go down half an inch, down half an inch, down half an inch. So whenever you do this one, I'm just gonna show you guys to make it a little bit easier. So if you pull the file in, and then you're going to duplicate it, and come up here, and we're gonna make it 3.5 because we're basically at 4 inches on the other one. And then you're gonna duplicate it again, and then we're gonna make that one just 3 even. And so it's downsizing 1/2 inch, and then I did 8 of those. So this is 8 layers, and it actually looks like more, I feel, on this flower because it's got the 3D foam in between, and I'm about to show you guys how to do that. But basically you're just gonna make 8 of those, and then you're gonna cut all of them out. And I think it'd be really cute if we did like different colors. Like if you did like a rotation of 2 colors or something. I don't know.
Or maybe like just like a dark blue and a slightly lighter blue.
Yes.
I think that would, if it was like red and yellow, I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
you're
like
right.
2 totally different colors. I don't
Yeah, you're right. I think like a light blue and a dark blue would be good. The stack flower, Goldie, the stack flower is easier. So I'm about to show you guys how to do this. So what you're gonna do is start with your biggest flower as your base. Before we stack these, we're gonna use our bone folder, which, is that right? You guys, I cannot remember the name. I can't do it. I can't remember. I don't know what I even want to call it.
What bones you're folding with it?
I don't know. It's an interesting name. Oh, the flower's too dark to see the layers. I wonder if can you guys, if I hold it up?
Go forward.
Forward?
Let it focus. Yeah.
Can you see it there? Okay. Let's see. I've tried to do these ones and another one and never once did I grasp that it was stacked. Well, now you know. I'm so glad that we're doing this then. So, yeah, they don't look like as easy as they are to make. So basically what you're gonna do is we're gonna curve our petals up so it gives it kind of some dimension. So I'm gonna take my bone folder and take my flower. Can you guys see really good? I wanna make sure I'm like in the frame. And you're gonna take this, and if you don't have one of these and you have like a credit card laying around, I feel like would work for this. Anything that's like hard and flat, basically you're gonna be curling the ends up. So I'm just grabbing the paper as well as the bone folder, and I'm just pushing out, and it's giving me like a curve on my petals. Hopefully you all can really see that. Hello.
Everyone is appreciating your demos.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
We have lots of grateful people.
Good, good. Hopefully I'm leading you like not astray.
I think you're doing an amazing job, Lee.
Thanks. I was feeling the pressure early. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll be fully transparent with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just gonna keep doing this. And you don't have to do it like perfectly the same on each one. That's gonna make it look a little bit more realistic. Obviously these are paper flowers and everyone knows they're not real. But if you wanna, kind of give it some like artistic detail, you can do them differently. So I'm gonna do this to each layer. I'm gonna do this before we stack them, because if you go in and you just stack it, it's gonna be like pretty much impossible for you to fold up your edges. So we'll just keep going. What's everybody saying?
Aaliyah and maybe Megan have a name for that tool, which makes a lot more sense.
What is it?
A creaser.
Oh, yes.
I like that name.
I'm gonna start calling it that. Yeah.
You could use the backside of a butter knife.
Genius.
I mean,
I
I
can't
love all
believe you
these
guys.
substitutions.
Oh, look, we have a bunch. Butter knife, popsicle stick, your fingers if you don't fear the paper cuts.
But have no appropriate tools.
I am one of the people who literally crafts 24/7 and has no appropriate tools. That is me. Like, I need that on a t-shirt.
Yes. Look, can we talk about how you weed vinyl? Now, let's give a little bit of background.
Oh, so, me personally?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can talk about it.
What kind of cutter do you have at home?
I have a US cutter, which is like, I think it's like a 36-inch industrial size cutter.
And you use it to make?
Stencils for like wood
like
signs.
Large signs.
Yes.
Okay, so she has this like super professional, like industrial size Cricut kind of.
Yes, basically.
And you cut out your design and then weed it with what?
A sewing pin. Oh. So like, like the little pokey sewing pins.
Yeah. So she comes here, she's like, you have a tool specifically for
Y'all,
weeding?
I didn't know there was a tool for it my whole life.
But you've been weeding vinyl for years and years.
Literally, I've never used anything else. I didn't even know they made fancy tools. I didn't even know that they made fancy tools for stuff like that. So
crazy
I've been using a sewing pin for, I guess I got my cutter like probably 5 years ago, but I've been making signs for like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah. I think that this is just like the ultimate like testimony that there is no excuses for
Yeah.
not crafting. You don't have to wait until you accumulate all of the stuff
I
that
agree.
you need to make something or think that you need to make something before you
Yes.
try making it.
Honestly, like, I feel like that's how I feel like crafty people get that. I feel like crafty people understand that you don't have to have like all the fancy tools and stuff. Crafty people can make things out of anything. That's like
I think
one
we
of our
have
character
two
traits.
groups. We have one that's like super crafty,
Uh-huh.
and they'll just make it out of whatever they have. And then we have another group that's also super crafty, but they like lean towards the hoarder side, and they have every
buy all the
tool but don't
things.
actually use them all because they're just
Yes.
so like creative that they're thinking of the next project and they haven't even done the one
Yes.
they just bought.
I'm a mixture. I'm not even gonna lie, because I'm the kind of person who's like, if someone needs me to make something, I'm like, I can make it. I'll make it with something I have right now. Or I'm like, I'm gonna go buy all these supplies to do like needle crafting or needle working or cross stitching, and then I don't even ever like end up using it. So anyways, are we overhead now? I want to show you guys how to actually stack these flowers. So I showed you a little bit earlier. I've curved all these little petals so they're all a little bit three-dimensional. And then we have these little sticky foams. I'm going to use these to stack in between each layer. So once we get towards the top, we may have to cut them in half, but you can use the full size, or if you're just cheapo like me, you can cut them in half and you'll have like double the amount of crafty squares. So these are double-sided like foam squares. I'm just gonna go ahead and stick that there and then peel this off. And I'm gonna put it on the bottom flower for the first one. Can they see like how I'm gonna be staggering these? Can you tell? Okay, so I'm gonna kind of stagger the petals in between one another. That's also gonna give it some really good dimension, and you wanna make sure that it's very centered. And then for the next layer, I'm gonna put the foam sticker on the back of the flower that's going on top, because I'm able to line this up a little bit better, I feel. And that's totally personal preference, but that is what I'm gonna do. So I put my foam square on, and I'm gonna stagger this in between the flower beneath it. So you can already tell like we're getting a 3D effect going on here. And then you're just gonna keep going, and you're gonna go all the way up to the smallest size. If it's easier for you, you can lay them out and do like different, like put them in order so you don't accidentally grab this one, because that's something that I would do. I would grab the wrong size and then like miss a whole layer.
We have people weighing in
Okay.
on whether they are a resourceful person or a hoarder person. Oh, resourceful crafter or a hoarding crafter.
Yeah.
And almost everyone is saying in the middle.
Oh, are they?
Not everyone. We have a couple on each side, and some people are like, yeah, I'm in the middle too.
I feel like crafter people have very specific personality traits. I just think we share a lot of like similar characteristics.
Yeah.
I don't know if that.
I would say they're sweet. Crafters
Yes.
are sweet people.
I think so too.
Supportive
And sentimental.
sentimental.
I think crafters are very sentimental type of people. That's
Mm-hmm.
just, maybe I'm just being sweet. Okay, so these are little. So we're gonna cut our foams in half. That way they're not poking out of the edges whenever we put it on the back. And depending on how small you make your flowers, you may even need to you can use like a thin double-sided tape or like a teeny weeny dot of glue on the back of that top one if you want. I'm just gonna use a foam square. And then, let's see, where did I put the other half? Oh, here it is. I cut it in half, and then I put another half.
Looks like we have a surprise visitor.
A surprise guest!
Oh my goodness. Hello, everyone. I'm going to be extra close with Alicia today because I don't have a microphone on.
Oh yeah, here you go.
We're just going to share. How are you all doing? Oh my goodness,
Special
Alicia.
visitor.
Thank you so much for, look at all these flowers you made today.
I know, we're having so
Holy
much fun.
cow.
I know.
This is honestly like Alicia's like forte. Like we all in the office saw this wreath come together. So I think it was just meant to be.
It's like my new favorite like crafting activity. It's
Did you
making
do
flowers.
paper? Did you ever use paper before? Really?
No, this is my second time.
I love it. I love
Confessional.
so you guys at home can do it too. That's the best part.
Yeah, literally.
So you made the full. You made a test wreath, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's elsewhere.
It's elsewhere. I love it. What do you guys think of Miss Alicia? Is she not just such an amazing spirit to have on the team? We're so excited to have you.
Thank you.
We will do more live streams together and probably get to know you even
Yeah.
more. But wow, I mean, you're getting straight to work with them.
Yes, we're having a lot of fun.
I
like getting to see like what everyone's saying and
my
being able to
goodness.
interact with
Yeah.
everybody is really fun.
Well, Caitlin told me that you all are just like vibing out. I did not get to see too much until just a few minutes ago, but I'm loving it. I mean, everything. So what's the next step for this project?
So what we're going to do next is we're going to grab our wreath. We're actually going to start attaching all of the things now.
Ooh.
So we're going to start with our greenery. That's going to be like our base.
Yeah.
So we're going to grab our biggest greens.
I love it.
We've already cut them out. You don't really have to do anything with the greenery. You can just kind of like put it on there. Now, if you want to use your bone folder or what were we calling it?
Yeah.
What was the other name? Creaser.
Creaser. Who's a creaser?
They came up with creaser. Yeah.
Oh my word.
I feel like creaser is
love you're
easier.
getting.
Oh,
Aw,
thanks,
we love
guys.
it.
She is the bomb. Thanks.
That is love.
Okay, so you can use this and you can like make your leaves fold up.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. But if you want to add some more texture, you can totally do that. We're not going to because I didn't in my original project. But what I'm going to do first is kind of lay out my leaves where I want them before I start gluing anything down. Kind of like the measure twice, cut once.
Yes.
We're going to like lay it out twice and then glue it once. So we're gonna go ahead and put that there. And I want it to kind of come up about halfway. I would say that's a good like spot to be at. And I'm gonna lay out both of my sizes of leaves. That way we can kind of see if that's where we want it. And you can put these leaves like facing down so you have a little bit more dimension. So I like this.
I like the two colors.
Yes, I was telling them like using the colors is good for dimension because this is literally, I think this is the same cut, but this is smaller and brighter in color.
Wait,
So
you're saying it's the same cut file?
it's like the same leaf strand.
If you didn't say that, I would have never guessed.
Yeah, I don't know if these are exactly, but they're it's like,
In the same pair.
yeah, you could use the same exact one in a different color and a different
Yes,
size and you're not
love
going to
it.
be able to tell. So
Okay, well, you're obviously killing it. I mean, oh my
Thank
goodness.
you.
and Courtney are just crafting away.
we're
I
just
love
doing
it.
the thing.
Love
Yeah.
it. Well, I'm going to let you all get back to it. I just wanted to
Okay.
pop in and say hello.
Thanks for
Hope y'all
coming to my
enjoyed.
craft show.
See
Bye.
you later.
Okay, so after you've got it laid out how you want, I'm gonna start with the big ones first. And I'm just going to, you can do this a couple different ways. I'm gonna lay it on here and then you can kind of see where the green hits the metal. So I'm just gonna start right here at the bottom. That way we have like an attached point and you might actually wanna lay down some type of like mat underneath your wreath so you're not like gluing your wreath to your table because that would be terrible. I would feel really bad. You should ink them up.
Okay, so she's saying you should like put stamping ink on the edges and stuff, which is what you could do with that thing we bought yesterday or today.
Yes,
It's like
okay.
an inking spreading tool. And,
Okay.
yeah, all the paper crafters are about it. I think it gives it a super fun look, just not the look that we were going for.
Yes, I'm like trying to be friends with some paper crafter people.
Yeah.
Like I feel like in my heart, I'm a paper crafter gal now. Now that I've made paper flowers.
Leave a comment for us if you would consider yourself a paper crafter.
Yes.
That's what I want to know.
I'm very curious. You know, there's so many, like we were talking about personality traits, but I feel like there's so many different like types of crafters. Like what's really popular right now is sublimation crafters and like epoxy resin crafters. That's like a huge thing right
And we
now.
cover it all. At Maker's Gonna Learn inside the membership, we have cut files that you can use for sublimation, for resin projects,
Yes.
for paper crafting, for wood projects. You could throw these cut files in your laser cutter.
Yeah.
I mean, the possibilities are endless, and you get 20 files if you join now for just $1. You pick any 20 files from our site, which
I
it's
love.
a great deal. I can't
There's
stop
literally
talking about it because
there's
I think
literally
everyone needs it.
Yeah, and there's just so much to choose from. Like it's gonna blow your guys' mind. When I first saw it, I was like, I had no idea. I was missing out. So I've glued my big ones down, and I'm gonna go ahead in with these smaller leaves. And if you want to do it differently, like if you're unsure about if that's where you want your greenery, you can lay your flowers on here to kind of like get a feel for where they're going to be at, and then you can stick your greenery in. Like if you would rather have this up here and kind of fill in this bottom area, you can do that. But I've already made mine, so I know that I like that it looks good down there. So I'm going to put these coming out because I kind of want it to be like blossoming out, if that makes any sense. So we're gonna go ahead and glue these, and I'm stacking it down a little bit, and I'm just gonna add the glue on top of the paper. And you'll end up gluing your flowers to the other flowers and like to the other leaf petals as well. But you just wanna attach it in as many places as you can. So I'm gonna attach it right here, and then I'm gonna glue this leaf to the greenery. And I'm gonna do one down here too. So it looks like it's just kind of laying there, but we actually placed it there. It's like placed, and it's gonna stay on if you hang it up on a door somewhere. I obviously wouldn't hang these outside because like it's paper, but you could hang it on an inside door or like in a kid's room would be so cute. Over a bed or something would be adorable, like a toddler bed. I love that.
So many cute things you could do.
Yeah.
I love to decorate and like hang wreaths on inside doors.
Me too. I'm a wreath gal. I like to put wreaths
door
everywhere.
Hangers, yeah.
Yes, totally.
We have little signs on each of our foster kids' doors that have their name, and they kind of go with the theme that the room is supposed to be.
That you're still working on?
Yeah, I'm still working on it. The dinosaur room is pretty much just green. There's not actually any like dinosaur.
Well, at least you got a color. At least you got a color scheme going on. Oh Lord. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is I've started laying my green, my big green leaves. I'm not gonna glue anything down yet because these are really good. These leaves are really good for filling in holes. So I'm going to lay those there because I think that's where I want them. And then I'm gonna place my flower, my big flower. And I would say greenery first, then your biggest flowers, and then you're gonna fill in with your small flowers because the big flowers need to be in the center, I feel like. I mean, I guess they could kind of float onto the edges if you have like a different design idea, but I really like having that in the center and then having the little flowers kind of coming out from it. So this is my big accent flower. I'm gonna kind of tuck him right here. That's a good spot for him. I'm gonna play around with how they're laid out, and then I'm gonna stack this there. And you can kind of stagger them differently as long as there's something for them to attach onto. So like I can't put a flower out here. There's nothing there for it to attach to, but I can put a flower right here because there's a greenery behind it. And like I can put this purple flower here because there's the metal, and then I can put one here. And so you can kind of play around, like that might not be how you would do it, but you can play around and get different designs. And then what I like to do after that is just kind of pull them out from where they're at. That way you have a general idea of where you put them, or you can take a picture with your cell phone, and that way you know, because sometimes I get it exactly how I want and I'm like, I don't want to move it. I don't want to move it. So I'll take a picture and then I can come back to it. So I'm going to glue these on, and this one I'm just going to put a little strip of glue right here along the metal. Just make sure you put enough so that it's not gonna pop off. Just push that down. And then I'm gonna glue, I'm gonna glue this one right here. And you can just stack it right on top of the green. No one's gonna see this anyways. And I'm just gonna attach that, and then we're gonna go ahead, and I have a bunch of these little green leaves, but I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my big flower and attach it. I'm gonna use these green leaves as filler. So if there's like a bald spot or somewhere that really needs something, I'm gonna add in those leaves. I think I turned my glue gun off for a second and it's like not wanting to.
You just have to put it back in the thing. It has about 2.5 minutes of work time.
Oh, to heat up?
Once you take it off the base after it's heated, you can work with it for about 2.5 minutes, and then you put it back in the base.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It
can't last forever.
I'm loving all these tips on how to arrange. I think these are going to be super helpful for our friends at home that want to make wreaths.
Yeah. Someone's saying large foam flowers from foam sheets. That's cool. I would be curious to see like what that looks like after you've cut it out.
If you remember, post it in our Facebook group when you make your flowers.
Yes.
I would love to see the Facebook group full of people that are trying paper flowers for the first time.
Yes.
That will just make our hearts so happy to see that you are doing what you've wanted to do. Because the comments were, I've been wanting to try paper flowers. And we want you to be able to do what you want to do.
Hopefully after this, everybody feels comfortable enough to actually make something like this. I feel like this is such a
It's been amazing training.
Yeah, and it's such a like easy thing to learn and such a fast thing to kind of whip up. You can make tons of them. It's very therapeutic, honestly, to make these little flowers. So I'm just going to keep adding these. I'm going to put the blue one on the opposite side. And if you wanted, like, I feel like this would be so cute at a bridal shower to do like all shades of white and greenery.
Yes.
Or I don't know. I have so many ideas now that I know how to make them.
You can add a name too.
Yeah. You could do like a little wood piece and do like welcome or hello.
Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah.
Their last name. Yeah.
That would be so cute. So we're just going to keep adding. We are almost finished, you guys. I hope everyone has like enjoyed this so far. I was really nervous. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. Yeah. But everyone's been super supportive and so nice.
I understand the nerves because it's something new and there's like lots of people here, but you really had nothing to be nervous about because you're doing such an amazing job.
Thanks. I'm trying. All right, we've just got a couple more. Where do I want to put this guy? I think I had him up here.
Nicole is saying that she just started making flowers last week and she's having a hard time. She thinks that maybe her problem is that instead of rolling, she's folding it at the start.
Oh yeah, it does. Well, and it does kind of fold. I think if you don't pinch it too hard, like I had that issue when I did them first too. I would basically like pinch it too hard, and then when I folded it, it was like crinkly.
Yeah.
So even if you fold that first one, just loosely spin it to get that
and
get
then,
it going.
Like do a loose spin and then tighten it.
Yes.
I also think that maybe, Nicole, it could depend on what weight of cardstock you're using. If you're using 120-pound cardstock, you're not going to be able to roll that very easily. So we are recommending for this project 65, 80 pounds at max.
Yes.
So that it's able to roll.
Yeah, you'll notice if you use a thinner cardstock how much easier it is than if you're using like a super heavy cardstock.
Yeah.
Because I think I grabbed a couple colors that I really liked and they were like too thick for what I was needing. Yeah, they were not good for making flowers. So I'm just adding in these other greenery. And this flower is a little bit loose, so I could go in and really like put a little dot of glue down there just to kind of secure it, which I may do later on. But for the sake of time, I'll just go ahead and do this. So I just added those greeneries in for like a final touch, and that's it. That's the whole thing. What do you guys think?
It looks so good.
I love it.
I love that it's not even on both sides.
Yes, me too. I like unevenness. I feel like I like an asymmetrical. Can you see it?
Why don't you hold it up?
Yes. Hopefully it's like totally dry. Uh-oh. Hold on.
Oh.
I didn't put enough glue on my flowers. It's a happy little accident. Let me let that dry before I lift it up. Yeah, make sure before you hang it that all of your flowers are stuck down. Let me let it dry. Can they see it from here? I don't want to lift it up before it's dry. Okay, there we go. I'll just hold it. My big flower is being a pain. But yeah, that's it. And then if you wanted to add a ribbon at the top, you can just to hang it, or you can just leave it like this and throw it up on a nail. So hopefully you guys liked this. I had a lot of fun making flowers with everybody. And it was nice to meet everyone.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm so glad that you came and did this for us today.
Yes.
And yeah. If you're not a member, check out that Dollar Deal link that we've been dropping in the comments, or it's in the description of the video. And we can't wait to see you in the membership, in the Facebook group, and here on YouTube again.
All right. See you guys next time. Bye.